everything in our agency is WordPress right now. We're actually making a transition over to Wix Studio. We have like 50 client websites and they're all on WordPress. And there's nothing you can do in like WordPress that you can't do in Wix Studio. Like it's fully customizable. They even have like headless. We were diving into Wix Studio and all the things in it, and we're just like, holy crap! Like they've come so far. I think the platforms that are going to win in the future are going to be the Wix Studios that bundle all of this together for $20 a month. You have a CDN, you've got an SMTP solution, you've got a consent management platform that's included in it, and the SEO is top tier. How many programming languages do I know? 0. I don't even consider like HTML and CSS to be programming languages. I know those. Like I know HTML pretty well, and I know CSS. Like I have a workable knowledge of CSS. I consider those just more like front end, like visual languages. I know I'm wrong. I know like they're actually technically programmable or programming languages, but I would consider programming languages like Python or like React or things like that. But yeah, I can work with CSS and HTML. Yeah, we do. Everything in our agency is WordPress right now. We're actually making a transition over to Wix Studio relatively soon. It's on the roadmap. We're exploring it, but yeah, we have like 50 client websites and they're all on WordPress. Good question, Sean. This is a tangent. Are you ready for this? Okay, so Wix has been kind of dumped on for like a long time in the SEO space. And it's because they've always been known as kind of like that DIY site. But, and to the credit of people dumping on them, the reports came out in like 2015 about how their SEO was like not good compared to like WordPress and other leading platforms. And it wasn't. However, they've gone through some like really transformative years post 2020. And they have two CMSs. They have Wix, which is what everybody is familiar with, and they have Wix Studio, which is an agency-based CMS. So it's a CMS like for agencies. And there's nothing you can do in like WordPress that you can't do in Wix Studio. Like it's fully customizable. They even have like headless, and so you can do literally anything. And they have a built-in IDE with like a dev environment with an LLM integrated. So you don't even know how to code. If you just want to do something super custom, you just tell the LLM what you want and it'll do it. Okay, but like the biggest reason why I wanted to explore this was actually the head of Wix Studio, Cody Gamewheel, came onto our podcast, the Agency Growth Podcast. I can't remember, like almost like a year and a half ago. And I was like, he asked to be on the podcast, and I said, you can be on the podcast. However, you have to address Wix's awful SEO, or else you guys can't be on the podcast. And so like Kobe is not a Wix guy. Like he's not an SEO guy. He's a Wix guy. He's not an SEO guy. So he talked to Morty Oberstein, who was the head of Wix brand, or head of SEO brand at Wix, Morty also used to work for SEMrush. And answer all the questions that we had. And then while we were like prepping for the podcast, we were diving into Wix Studio and all the things in it, and we're just like, holy crap! Like they've come so far. Okay, now we'll get into the real reason why we want to switch. The biggest one is because WordPress is not keeping up with the times. They keep focusing on like random things that nobody wants. Like Gutenberg block editor, when that came out, was like, nobody asked for this. Why did we want this? And then like every other update that comes out in new WordPress really isn't like what we need. It's always like security updates or like just random stuff. What we need is like a native consent management platform that's just built into WordPress. Maybe it is an automatic service that's like Automatic, the company that owns WordPress. Like maybe it is that like has a freemium tier or something. The other thing is like there's no like integrated CDN. Like websites are requiring people to get faster at delivering media. So when we look at our WordPress websites and we look at our tech stack, we have to like combine 4 different things, probably like 3. You have to have consent management platform for cookie consent banners. Not a huge problem in the US right now. In a lot of states, you don't have to have it. Then you have to have a CDN if you want to have fast load times and have all your media delivered from like a content delivery network. And then you have to have an SMTP plugin or an SMTP service like WP Mail, or sorry, Mailgun, that we use just for your website to send you emails that you got a lead or a form fill. Not to mention, like, no good native WordPress form fill or form submission that actually has a WordPress database or like a form database. So then that needs to be a plugin. Oh, you want to back up your website regularly? Updraft Plus, that's another plugin. And like every security thing that I see in the news about WordPress being hacked, it's always like plugin. And it's just like, at a certain point, your tech stack just gets so expensive and just so unnecessarily bloated that I think the platforms that are going to win in the future are going to be the Wix studios that bundle all of this together for $20 a month. You have a CDN, you've got an SMTP solution, you've got a consent management platform that's included in it, and the SEO is top tier. The problem is that people have to get over that. They have to get over that mental barrier of Wix has bad SEO because they don't. They did in 2015, and if you reference any studies or like any case studies, they're always like over 10 years old. So if that was actually the case, huge SEO figures like Barry Schwartz wouldn't be building their websites on Wix Studio. So long-winded explanation, but yeah, we're actually rebuilding the podcast website on Wix Studio right now, and that's like our first exploratory thing with that. And then we have a couple clients who they haven't paid for their hosting in forever, and instead of like constantly chasing them for like their hosting for WordPress, we're just saying like, hey, don't worry about your hosting. We're going to actually rebuild your site on Wix Studio, and then we're not responsible for your hosting. Wix is now. So they would pay Wix $20 a month, and then we, if they're under our agency account in Wix Studio, we would get 30% commission in perpetuity. I think it's 30%. I could be wrong, but that's how like the structure breaks down. So you're never actually responsible for chasing down like hosting payments. The caveat to that is if you have a business model that is like really big and predicated on hosting, like hosting and website maintenance and things like that, Wix Studio is probably not a good option for you. So we would rather just not host or like do backups or plugin updates or things like that. That's not our core services. So yeah, hopefully that wasn't like too long-winded and that actually makes sense.